Hello! Welcome, everyone. How you guys doing? I am here for my premiere live signing event. And what this is basically for those of you who cannot join me at one of my actual in-person live signing events. We're doing it right here online, so you guys can be a part of it and you can watch me. I'm going to be signing all of these book plates that will then go in your book like that. So I'll be signing all of these. I'll be answering your guys' questions. I know some people submitted questions ahead of time. Thank you for doing that. We will get to all of those questions. And yeah, we'll talk about my book, what to expect, all of that kind of stuff. So thank you guys for joining me. Also, side note, thank y'all for praying for me. Those of you who have been praying. I just got out of surgery a week ago. Still on the road to recovery, but every day is getting better. Today is my first day putting makeup on, so you're welcome. And I felt that it was fitting to wear my dream sweater because a lot of the theme of my book is really like chasing that dream and having the audacity to do so against all odds and all of that. So I felt it was fitting to wear my dream sweater. So that's out of the way. Now what do I say?
Tell people about your book.
Okay, I have Danielle here. She's helping me keep the show going. Tell people about my book. Well, my book is called Who Do I Think I Am? Stories of Chola Wishes and Caviar Dreams. And it's available tomorrow is the official launch day. And I'll be honest, I've been a little emotional about it. What were you gonna say?
Well, today they can go to the Premier Collectibles.
Oh, yes. So you can go right now to premiercollectibles.com/Anjelah. You can see it right there at the bottom of the screen. You can go there and order your signed copy from there. Or you could just go to any store tomorrow, but it won't be a signed copy. So if you want a signed copy, you gotta go right there. Okay, so yeah, my book is coming out tomorrow. I've been a little emotional about it. A few reasons, I guess, but it's a big deal, man, to like write a book. This has been 2 years in the making, from pitching the idea to different publishers to try to get me an actual publishing deal, and then actually writing the book, and then going over drafts and editing myself, like being very vulnerable and putting a lot of things out on the table, and then rereading it and being like, do I really want to say this? Do I really want to put that out there? And also being protective of people who I mention in the book as well, my family. And I let my dad read the chapter that I wrote about him before I published it, because I wanted to make sure that he was okay with everything that I was saying, because I was just being really honest in this book. So this book has been my baby for the past couple of years, and so I'm a little emotional about that it's finally going to be available for people. But also it feels big. It feels like God is doing big things, and like I'm reminded that like my story is my story. All the things that I've been through, all from childhood to growing up, my story is my story. But the fact that my story is now going to bless so many other people and touch other people's lives, that feels really emotional to me. So like there's part of me that's nervous, like, oh my God, people are going to know so much about me after this book comes out. And then at the same time, I'm hoping that what people now know blesses them and unlocks things in their own life. So that's a little bit about my book and what I'm feeling about it. being launched tomorrow. Now what, producer Danielle?
Would you like to answer some questions?
Yeah.
Fans
Yeah,
while
let's
you
do that.
start signing.
Excuse me. Should I blue? No, let's go with black. Okay. What are some questions, Danielle?
Yes. So let's see. Let's do some questions about the book. So
Okay.
what was your favorite part? Adriana from Lowell, Massachusetts wants to know what your favorite part about getting to write this book.
Adriana from Lowell, Massachusetts, thank you for chiming in. My favorite part about writing the book? Is that what you said?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
My favorite part about writing the book was how therapeutic it was. Going through old stories from my life and being able to talk to family members about certain stories. There was a lot of times where I would recount something and then I would call my mom or my sister and be like, what were you thinking when this was going on? Like, how did you feel about that? Because I really only know my perspective and my point of view of, when my parents got divorced. But I remember having a conversation with my dad and asking him, like, what was that like for you? Because I never thought to think of that from my dad's point of view. I always hyped up my mom. Like, oh, my mom's a single mom raising 4 kids. She crushed it. But I never really thought about my dad in the divorce. And so writing this book was really therapeutic. And I got to talk to my family about a lot of things. And I think that was my favorite part about writing the book, to be honest. Thank you. What was her name?
Adriana.
Adriana. Thank you, girl.
So the next question comes from Amber from London.
Whoa,
United Kingdom.
London in the house.
And she wants
Thank you. Thank you for submitting a question. That's bad. That was bad. That wasn't even that good.
She wants to know, what was your biggest inspiration while writing the book, and do you have a favorite chapter?
Excuse my cough. Biggest inspiration for writing the book. I've wanted to write a book for many years. And I, first of all, let me show you this. See? Signing my autographs. I wanted to write a book for many years. And I had this document on my computer of stories that I would tell in my book, chapters that I would have in my book. And I'm a storyteller in my stand-up comedy. And in stand-up comedy, we are taught to cut the fat of our story, meaning take the details out, get to the point. You want to take out as much information as possible to get from your setup to your punchline. Get there as quick as you can. But a lot of my stories had really good details, really good, juicy details that help paint the picture, set the tone, all of that. And so there were some stories that I'm like, this story doesn't work for stand-up because I want everyone to know every detail. But it takes too long to get there in a stand-up set. So I'm going to save this for a book. And so I would have a document where I had all my stories that I'm going to save for a book one day. And so I've had this for like 10 years. And then it was time to write my book. And I would say my favorite chapter of the book, I mean, they're all great for many reasons. But just looking at my chapters right here. Chin Checked by Prince, Ordained by Oprah is chapter 8. And that's a lot of Hollywood stories. That's a lot of like crazy things that happen, from ending up at Michael Jackson's house somehow for his birthday to being at Prince's house for an after the Oscars party. Am I frozen? I'm frozen on this screen over here. Am I frozen, you guys? I can't see if anybody's chatting or anything. It says I would see it, but I don't see it.
No,
Okay, I'm not frozen?
You're still moving.
Okay. I'm frozen on my screen, so there's that. As long as I'm not frozen there. Okay. So, Chin Checked by Prince, Ordained by Oprah. A lot of fun, crazy Hollywood stories. I also I love all the chapters. That's a really good question. A Sucker for Stray Dogs. I talk about finding my dog Bonzo, the love of my life. I mean, Manny. That's chapter 9, Manjelah. But there's a lot of really great chapters from, growing up stories to dating stories, Hollywood stories. Yeah, that was a good question. Thank you. From London. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I think this would be a good transition to this question from Cameron in Georgia, who wants to know what the biggest takeaway you want your readers to gain from the book.
Biggest takeaway that I want my readers to gain from my book? I want a few things, but I want people to feel like the words of my story unlock something in their own story. That people would walk away from reading my book feeling inspired, hopeful, but also feeling like they had a good time with me. Like sitting down to read my book was like sitting down to chat with me. We have construction going on in the backyard, so every now and then you may hear some power tools. Apologies. But yeah, I want people to walk away feeling like they just sat down with me and like we had a cocktail or we had coffee and we shared stories and you know me a little bit better and you feel like we're best friends. Like I feel like I want that for people when they walk away from reading my book. Thank you, Georgia. What was her name?
It was Cameron from Georgia.
Cameron from Georgia.
Okay, so here's a fun one. Norma in Dallas, Texas.
Come on, Norma in Dallas, Texas.
Wants to know if you weren't doing stand-up or well known by millions, what job or career would you be doing?
This is a good question, Norma from Dallas. I would be a massage therapist because I am really good at giving massages. I feel like I'm a healer. I feel like touch is my number one love language. I touch people to show love. So whether that's when I'm laughing and I have to hit the person next to me, or if I'm just sitting next to someone and then I see something happening, I always have to like hold on to that person's arm and be like, oh my God, do you see what I see? When I meet people, I usually touch their arm or, nice to meet you. Touch is my love language. But I feel like I'm a healer in the sense of like I can give good massages and make you feel good afterwards, but I also like intuitively give massages and I can like feel where the pain is and like where to go. And I feel like that is also a gift from God. To be able to like intuitively connect with humans, whether it's storytelling on stage, connecting with a human, or actually touching that human and connecting with them. I feel like both are a gift from God. So if I wasn't doing stand-up, I would probably be doing massage therapy and have carpal tunnel or something.
Let's do... Okay, so Jose in Houston, Texas.
Come through, Houston.
Texas representation in here. He wants to know what is the best part of what you do for a living.
Jose in Houston, the best part of what I do for a living is connecting with other humans, connecting with the fans, whether it be live at a show or on social media. My number one goal in everything I do, from writing stand-up material to writing my books, connecting on a human level with people. When I write a joke about my marriage, me and my husband, my favorite thing is to look in the audience and see people going like, oh my gosh, my husband does that too. Or like, oh, she totally does that. Like people relating to what I'm saying and connecting with me. That is my goal always. So my favorite thing about what I do is that I get to connect with human beings on a real human level? Thanks for the question. Jose from Houston.
Okay, so let's talk about the real dirty dancing.
The real dirty dancing.
So a few people asked the same question. So Sean in Arizona and Steffi from San Bernardino both want to know what your favorite part of filming the dirty dancing was, or your favorite memory from the show.
Favorite part or memory of filming the real dirty dancing. For those of you who are not familiar, I was on Fox's reality show called The Real Dirty Dancing. They flew out 8 celebrities to the location where they filmed the original movie Dirty Dancing, and they had us reenact scenes from the movie, dances from the movie. Hold on, I gotta take some water. And they had us reenact all kinds of things, and it was so fun. My favorite memory is hard. I mean, getting to connect with all the cast members was awesome. I think doing the crawling across the floor scene, baby, oh my, you know that one? How do you call your lover boy?
Yeah.
Come here, lover boy. And then they crawl across the floor to each other. I was really looking forward to doing that scene. So I'm glad that I got to do it. And I got to do it with Tyler. So, hey.
Which Carrie from Texas wants to know, how was it with Tyler being your partner on the Real Dirty Dancing?
Carrie from Texas, of course you want to know how it was being partnered with Tyler. Danielle would also like in-depth details of what that was like. It was awesome. Tyler is a good dude. Like, on the outside, being honest, he just looks like a hot bro. Like, muscles, chiseled face, just tall drink of water, you know? So I was a little bit judgmental when we were starting the show. I was like, who's this guy? He's probably going to be like real douchey. What is this guy going to be about? And then I met him, and he was actually such a genuine human being. Just a lovely person, funny, silly, bold, fun, a really good dude. Like, I did not get the douchey vibe from him at all. And he was a really great dude. I'm so glad I got to be partnered with him. Nice. So thank you, homegirl from Texas, or who was it?
Yes, she was from Texas. I think her name was Katie.
Katie. Thanks, Katie, for the question.
Or Carrie.
Carrie.
Okay, so let's go back and talk about
anybody who's joining us late. I'm signing these book plates from Premier Collectibles, and it's going to go in your book that you order like this. So you'll get a signed copy of my book. Who do I think I am? Stories of Chola Wishes and Caviar Dreams. It officially launches tomorrow.
So another question from Texas, Michael in Horseshoe Bay.
Wow, I've never heard of that part of Texas.
He wants to know, how old were you when you discovered that you had a gift for making people laugh?
How old was I when I discovered it? A gift for making people laugh. Well, what's his name?
Michael.
My whole family is funny. Like, my dad, my siblings, everybody's pretty funny in my family. So I didn't really see myself different from them. I just thought we were all funny. And then when I came to LA, and I mean, like, in high school, my teachers would say I was funny and like send me to go do funny things in other classrooms and things like that. But I think not until I actually started doing stand-up that I realized I had a gift for it, a knack for it. But I'm not even the funniest one in my family. Like, in my text thread with my siblings, I would say my brother Kenny is for sure the funniest one in the family. I'm just the one who makes a living out of being funny. But my brother Kenny, though, He's funny. And he's only funny with like his friends and like people he feels comfortable with. I made that mistake once. I took him with me to a party. I was like, oh my God, my brother's hilarious. I want to bring him to this party. We're going to be the life of the party. It's going to be amazing. And I remember he was so quiet. He said not one word to nobody. Because what I also realized is that my brother, he's funny, but he doesn't like people. So people are not his favorite. So yes, I learned I was funny early on, but not like professionally until like way later.
Okay, let's do. Okay, so Amanda from Durham, North Carolina wants to know how you decide what jokes you will include in a show. Are they all set for every show, different each night? What's your process, I guess?
What's her name?
Amanda.
It depends on where I'm at in my hour of material. Am I just starting writing a new hour? Am I towards the end? Am I already finished? If I am just starting out, I play around a lot and try different things, try new jokes, talk to the crowd more because I'm figuring out what my new material is. If I pretty much have my hour already set, I stick to my material that I've written and I give everybody the show that I've been working on writing. So it really depends on where I'm at in my set, how far I've gotten in the writing process. Thank you for your question.
Yes. And Connie from Minnesota, she asks,
Let's go, Minnesota.
if you had to do one of your jokes for the rest of time, which would it be and why?
If I had to do one of my jokes for the rest of time, first of all, it feels like I already am doing that with a nail salon joke. That I will have that for the rest of my life. That I'll be 80 years old on stage talking about anybody get their nails done. You know how your voice starts to like change when you get old.
I knew what you meant.
I feel like that's the joke that I'll be doing for the rest of time. For sure.
Okay, besides that one, Eva from New Mexico wants to know if you have a favorite joke. So maybe if it's not the nail salon, what is your favorite joke outside of that?
Eva. My favorite joke is usually whatever my newest joke is because I'm so excited about it. Whatever my new bit is that I know gets a good laugh, that's the one that I'm most excited about telling. I love telling all my jokes because they're all hilarious. But whatever new one is, because it's a new laugh. Like, I just started saying this joke. This is probably like, fourth, fifth time I've said it, and it's been getting a big laugh every time. My energy shifts and changes like right before I say that joke because it's like a confidence, like a swagger, like oh, you guys have no idea what's about to hit you right now, like that kind of a feeling. But also it's new for me too because I just wrote it. So that's usually my favorite joke at the time, whatever is my newest one.
Kimberly in Michigan wants to know, what do you do for fun? What's an ideal day?
What do I do for fun? An ideal day. Hanging out with my friends, for sure. I love community. Community is really big for me. So whether it's dinner here at my house, or we all go out to dinner, or we go to Maddie and Brandon's house. At my old house, we used to have parties all the time before COVID. We'd have people come over, barbecues, swimming, bring whoever, like everybody was welcome. I do enjoy community. So an ideal day for fun would be like having a party at my house and just having some friends over. I've learned how to have a smaller community now because like I said, we used to be the ones that are like, yeah, everybody come, bring whoever you want. And next thing you know, there's like 40 people at the house just hanging out. I have over, this COVID time learned to appreciate smaller groups of people, which is hard for me because I want to include everyone. But I have enjoyed having just like 6 people come over, So ideal day hanging out with my friends, my community. Thanks for the question.
That's a good question. Speaking of your community, Casey from Florida wants to know how you and Manny met, and was it love at first sight?
How me and Manny met. Well, I talk about that. In this book here, there's a whole chapter on it called Manjelah. Let me see which chapter it is. Chapter 9, Manjelah. It's after the dating story. So I have a chapter called I'm Dating You Because I'm Hungry, which is basically my dating past and how I would go on dates, not necessarily because I like the guy, more so because I was hungry. So yeah, I'll go with you to Chili's on Thursday, sure. But then chapter 9, Manjelah, is the chapter where I talk about meeting my husband, but right before that, it's the 2 relationships that I was in before I met him. So it's like a good lead up to meeting him. And we met through mutual friends. And I first saw him at a wedding, and I was like, ooh, who's that hot guy over there with the afro? And then nobody introduced me to him, and I was like, that's weird. Like, how come nobody sees that we should be together forever? What is going on? And then nobody introduced me to him. He didn't introduce himself to me. I don't even think he noticed me. I know for a fact later on he told me he didn't even know I was there. But anyways, so I went home and I cyberstalked him on the internet, and I found out who he was. He was in a band. He loved the Lord. I love the Lord. Look at us. We should be together forever. But I didn't message him or anything. I just kind of let it go. And then 2 years later, my friend who got married that day calls me out of the blue and was like, hey, I want to hook you up with somebody. I'm like, who do you want to hook me up with? And she was like, look him up on the internet. I don't know if he's your type. His name is Manuel Reyes. And as soon as she said his name, all my research came flooding back to me that I had did that night when I cyberstalked him. And I was like, okay, I'll check. But I already knew. Finally, 2 years later, that's the abridged version of how we met. But I go in depth here in chapter 9. Excuse me. Sorry for the cough, everyone.
I'm hoping I'm saying this name correctly, but Fortunato in Apple Valley, California.
Let's go.
Asks, when you're on tour, is it hard to be away from Manny, or does he go with you on tour?
When I'm on tour, Fortunato, sometimes Manny will come. Other times he stays home and I miss him. And other times he stays home and it's a real nice break. So it's a little bit of all of the above.
All right, let's do... Let's see. Oh, Alexander from Irvine, California asks, how did you transition into supporting yourself full-time doing stand-up? So I guess kind of the beginnings of your...
How did I transition into supporting myself full-time doing stand-up? Well, I remember the day when things changed for me. When I didn't know if I wanted to be a stand-up comedian. I did not want to be a stand-up comedian. I wanted to be an actress. So I would be like, oh, stand-up is just something I do for fun. It's just something I'll do like every now and then. I wasn't really taking it seriously. Then I got invited to perform at a Mormon Christmas party. And I was like, oh, I'm not Mormon. And they're like, it's okay. We just need comics who work clean, which means don't say any cuss words or like any like offensive content. So I was like, oh, I could do that. So I went to this gig and it turned out to be a comedy competition. And the winner won a cash prize, and I tied for first place, and I won $600, and that was the most money I had ever made in one day doing like 10 minutes of stand-up comedy, and I got $650. Blew my mind to where I was like, oh, I think I'm going to be a comedian. I think I'm going to take this stuff seriously. And started writing more material. And so that when I got requested at different comedy clubs, I actually had the material to show people. Because when I first started, I only had a small portion of material. I had like 15 minutes. Then I had 25. Then like I kept writing more material. So I would just put up like a bunch of comics in front of me. Like 8 comics would go up, and I would just close the show with my 15 minutes. And then I would write more material until finally it just became me, a host, and a feature. And I was doing at least an hour of material. So that's kind of what the transition was like for me.
Nice. So Lindsay in New York wants to know what's a highlight then from your career.
Highlight from my career. Being an extra on Friends was my very first job in the entertainment industry. And it's still my most favorite job that I've ever had. I didn't say any words. I didn't get to be anybody important. I was just in the background pretending to drink coffee. Just me sitting there. That's what I did. For season 9 and 10, just sat in the coffee shop pretending to drink coffee. And it was my most favorite job ever because at the time, Friends was my favorite show, still is my favorite show. But it was the #1 show on television. These were the highest paid actors on television. And I got to take free class from them. I got to watch and learn from them. And it was incredible. It was just a really magical experience to be a part of that show, to be on that set, you know, being fresh to Hollywood, just moving to here from San Jose, and then being able to like sit at Central Park coffee shop. What? Unreal. It was magical. It still is. I still have very fond memories of that. That's why it's my favorite.
Good. Let's see. Let's go to the question that asks Jesse.
Jackie just texted and said, "Talk about your chapter on me."
Oh. So Jackie from Nashville, Tennessee would like to ask you about your road manager before me.
Before Danielle, there was a girl named Jackie. Oh, the legends of Jackie. There's quite a few mentions of Jackie in here. I think Home is Where the Hotel Is, where I talk about touring. I think that's the one. Oh, no. It's the one about Ordained by Oprah, because I talk about her when I'm on the cruise with Oprah. Yeah. So, that is Jackie, my old road manager, is mentioned in the book. And if you saw my Technically Not Stalking tour, I had a real good bit about her in that, which I'm actually going to be filming in Tempe in April. I'm filming that hour finally. So everyone will know who Jackie is after that.
Yes, and if you're in Tempe, come out. Okay, so I was going to ask this. Jesse from California says, first of all, you're hilarious and you make people laugh for a living.
Thank you.
But do you find it difficult to turn that off? And how do you set boundaries with people in your life that you don't always have to be the funny one?
Well, who's this?
This is Jesse from California.
Jesse from California. What a good question. I am actually not always on when I'm home, when I'm with my friends and my family. I think the only people that expect me to be funny are people that don't know me personally. When I'm with my friends, I blend in. I'm just chill. Sure, I'm still me. I'm still funny, but I'm not performing, and they don't expect me to. So my friends, my community, that's like my safe space where I'm just chill and relax. And I like to laugh a lot. So I let other people shine and I laugh at what they say. But yeah, that is a very good question.
A new question just popped up, which I think is very cool. Tommy from Boston, Massachusetts,
Let's go, Tommy.
which we're coming to Boston soon.
We will be in Boston.
He asked, what is something, or is there something that you've had to sacrifice in order to become successful or to move forward in your career?
Is there something I've had to sacrifice in order to be more successful in my career? I would say I have to sacrifice things that don't serve me but are comforting.
Mhm.
Like anxiety. Like sometimes I've gotten a good handle on my anxiety these days, but for a lot of times my anxiety ruled the world, and it was like a crutch, and I would let my anxiety dictate things. It's hard to be successful when you're letting anxiety run the ship. Self-sabotage. We are our toughest critics. So any self-sabotaging thoughts in my head, I have to sacrifice those. As much as I want to be like, oh, but it probably won't happen because, or oh, but all those negative things that are really me trying to protect myself, from disappointment, trying to protect myself from hurt is let me just feel the hurt now of disappointment so it doesn't sting as bad when I actually don't get the part or whatever it is, you know? Those are self-sabotaging, limiting thoughts that need to be sacrificed on the altar so that you can move forward in success. That's a good question. Thank you.
So let's ask. So Mark from Iowa.
Okay, Mark from Iowa.
Wants to know what's next for your career.
Mark from Iowa, I'll tell you what's next. I'm going to be talking about this for a very long time. This Who Do I Think I Am? Stories of Chola Wishes and Caviar Dreams, as well as my tour. My tour kicks off March 25th in Los Angeles, going over to 60 cities in the United States all year. It ends in November. So my tour, which is also called Who Do I Think I Am, and my book are going to be my main squeezes for this year. That's what I'm working on. Come out to a show wherever you live. Check my website, anjelah.com, anjelah.com. You can see is one of the 60 cities that I'm coming to close to you, then come out to that show. And yeah, I'm going to be promoting my book, getting it out there. And yeah, that's my life for this year.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it is going to be fun, Danielle. Thank you for the reminder. As my anxiety just started to creep up like this. I was like, 60 cities, yeah. It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it.
We're going to make it work. It's
Yeah.
going to be, and all of them, they're going to make it the best part.
Yeah, come on through, you guys. Let's do it. Any other questions before we
Yes.
wrap it up?
Let's do one more question, and then we can do those rapid fire questions
Okay.
for fun.
Let's do that.
So I guess we've talked about your book and what inspired you, and I guess we can just end it on what Sammy from Tennessee wants to know why now? Why the book now?
Sammy from Tennessee. Great question. Why now? Earlier in this live, I mentioned that I had a document on my computer that I've had for like 10 years where I would add stories that I would want to put in a book one day because there were stories that didn't work for stand-up, but I knew there were stories that needed to be told. So I had this document on my computer for like 10 years. And then 2020 happens where everybody's home, COVID's happening, and I get a call from my agent. And my agent was like, hey, I think it's time for you to write a book. And as soon as he said that, listen, I get pitched ideas all the time. Like, hey, you should do this, maybe do this. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that could work. Yeah, okay, maybe. As soon as he said, hey, I think it's time for you to write your book, I felt like my spirit within me was bubbling. I felt like it was butterflies. It felt like a ball of light energy started to like go like this within me. And it just felt right. It felt like, yeah, I think you're right. I think I am supposed to write my book now because I've had this document on my computer for years, but I think now is the time. I think you're onto something because it wasn't just like, hey, what do you think about writing a book? It was very matter of fact. I think now is the time for you to write it. And then my spirit within me was like, yep, confirmed. And so I was like, oh, let's do it. And so that's how it happened right now is because my spirit leapt within me and said, now's the time. So that's how that happened.
Nice. One last question I'm throwing in before we do the fun rapid fire.
Okay, one last one.
But a lot of people are wondering, is there an audiobook?
Yes, there is an audiobook. I cannot sign an audiobook, but you will hear my voice reading the book to you if you go to Audible or go to Amazon and you can purchase it there and just click the Audible version. And it is, in fact, me reading my stories to you. So if you've been a fan of my stand-up, then you'll probably be a fan of the Audible version of my book because it's like me doing stand-up, but with different stories.
Really, they should get both.
You can get both, you guys. It's not against the law.
Okay, so the Premier Life signing company gave us 22 questions in 2 minutes.
All right.
So let's see how fast you can do it. Where
are you timing me first of all?
I'll time you.
Yeah, because if we're gonna do it right, we got to do it right. 2 minutes, 22 questions.
Can we do a 2-minute timer or just a stopwatch?
I don't know.
Let's just do a stopwatch. Ready, set. Where were you born?
San Jose, California.
Who would you want to play you in a movie?
Oh shoot. Oh, I just saw this little actress. Not little. I mean, she's young. In the movie Scream, and then I think she played the young Jane on Jane the Virgin too. I was watching her on this movie. I was like, oh, she's such a good actress. I would want her to play me. I forget her name. From Scream, the newest Scream, and she played young Jane on Jane the Virgin.
Young Jane. Jenna Ortega.
Jenna Ortega. Done.
Okay, back to the questions. What was your first job?
I worked at a theme park.
What chore do you hate doing?
Oh, laundry. Well,
what is your biggest fear?
Death.
Who makes you laugh the
Which
most?
is also a chapter in the book.
Yeah. Who makes you laugh the most?
Oh, whoever creates all these memes on Instagram.
So the internet?
Yeah.
What is the one thing you need to have in your fridge at all times?
Ooh, pickles.
I thought you were going to say salsa.
Oh, shoot. Salsa.
What is your favorite school subject?
None. Recess.
Who is your most interesting person you met recently?
Most interesting person that I've met recently. Am I losing?
Shoot. 40 seconds.
Pass.
What is your middle name?
Nicole.
What is your biggest pet peeve?
Oh, lots of them. When people don't say thank you when you let them in your lane and driving.
Yeah. What is your favorite hobby?
Taking naps.
What is your guilty pleasure?
Watching all my crime shows.
Do you have any hidden talents?
Not so hidden anymore, but beatboxing. Okay.
What is the color of your toothbrush?
Ooh, right now, purple.
What's your pet's name?
Bonzo.
What's your favorite word?
Shoot. Bye.
What is the last album you bought or streamed?
Jennifer Lopez.
What is the last gift you gave?
Oh. I bought a gift that's been sitting there since December. So I didn't really give it yet, but it's been sitting right there. It's for my manager.
Steven, we have your gift.
Yeah.
What cause is dear to your heart?
Unlikely Heroes, anti-human trafficking.
What is your greatest achievement?
Writing this book.
Where do you want to go that you've never been?
Thailand.
Okay, it was 2 minutes and 45 seconds.
Shoot, and it's supposed to be 2 minutes?
Yeah. That's pretty good.
And I skipped one too.
You skipped it, yeah. But that was fun.
It was fun.
like that.
I hope you guys enjoyed that.
Yes.
Thank you all for joining me for this live signing. I will finish signing all of these book plates that will then go in the book like this. And you can go to premiercollectibles.com/Anjelah, Anjelah, to order your Premier Collectible authenticated autograph book plate for your book. Yeah. My book launches officially tomorrow. Very excited about it. It's my first book. It's been my baby for the past 2 years. Thank you all if you have pre-ordered and are looking forward to my book. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for all of it. You guys are the best. We're going to sign off here. Is there anything else I need to say before we sign off?
The biggest thing is don't forget to buy the book.
Don't forget to buy the book. Also, if anybody's watching and you're in New York, they're going to put my book up on the billboards in Times Square, you know, the electronic billboards in Times Square. If you're there, can you take a picture of it and send it to me, please? Tag me in it, something. I would love to see it. So anybody who's in New York or going to New York this week, and you see my book in the rotation of the billboards, send me a picture or tag me. Thank you guys for joining, and I appreciate you, and I love you, and thank you. Who do I think I am? Stories of chola wishes and caviar dreams. Bye.
Hey, this is John Acuff, New York Times best-selling author of 7 books and someone who's done a live signing. If you like the one you just watched, make sure you check out our YouTube channel. It's full of amazing authors having great conversations and signing books for viewers just like you. So make sure you subscribe, and thanks for watching today.